This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, in this session, we are going to see what are the different features available in Python language. So let us see one by one. Okay, first feature, first feature is Python is simple and easy to learn. Python is known as beginners programming language. Python is known as ABC programming language. Okay, ABC means how easily you can learn ABC in alphabets. You can learn Python in the programming world that much easily. Okay, it's a beginners programming language. Some people call it as ABC programming language. It's very simple, easy to learn, easy to implement. Okay, why it is known as a beginners programming language, that we need to understand. Why means in programming world, if you want to write a first program as a beginner, everyone when they are writing the first program, the program they write is hello world program. For example, if you have taken C language and you want to learn C language, you are trying to write the hello world program. Here I have added one example. C language, how I can write the hello world program. Hash include stdio.h. So if people coming from the C background, they know what it is. It's a library included in the program. Int main method, one method is included here. There I have written printf hello world. If it is not visible, I'm just making it a little bigger. Okay. If you want to write the same program in Java, for example, you have to write one class. You can provide any class name, and you have to write one method, public static void main, and inside this system.out.println hello world. If you take C#.NET as an example, it is almost similar like Java, except system.out.println, you have to write console.write or write line. So basically what I'm trying to tell you here is, if you want to write one basic program, the first program, hello world program, as a beginner in other programming languages, what you are seeing here, you are seeing here so many unknown things here. As a beginner, you don't know what is class, you don't know what is public, static, void, and what is this syntax, you don't know. And here it was mentioned like return, some includes are there, some methods are there, some data types are there. There are many unknown things for the beginner in other programming languages. Okay, the same program, if you want to write in Python, see the example I have written on the right hand side. If you want to write hello world program in Python, what you have to write is print hello world. Okay, even a layman, even a beginner can understand that. By seeing this statement, he can understand, okay, I am going to print hello world message, I am going to display this message somewhere. At least that much he can guess. When he see the other programming languages, he will be having so many questions in his mind. He don't know many things here. Okay, he has to remember many things here instead of going in a logical way. So there are so many libraries available for us. So we can write a less number of lines of code comparing to other programming languages in Python. Okay, it's very simple. It's a beginners programming language. It's easy to learn. That is the feature number one. Next one, free and open source. We don't have to purchase any license. If you want to develop a software using Python program, you don't have to purchase any license. It's free. You don't have to purchase anything. Okay, you can use it for free. Next, it is open source. What does it mean by open source? Open source means, so to write the Python software, Python, there must be some source code used in the background. If you are very intelligent, you want to add some features to the Python, you want to understand how the Python is developed, not developing the programs using Python. You want to understand how the Python code is written in the background, and you want to add some more features, or you want to adapt some features. You have the facility in Python. Python is open source. You can see the source code of the Python what is available in the background. So it's a free. That means no license is required to develop applications using Python. And if you are capable enough to add some more features to Python, so you can do that because it's a open source. Next one is its high level programming language. This point we covered in the last session also. Basically, there are three levels of programming languages. One is machine level, second one is assembly level, third one is high level programming language. High level means it's English kind of programming language. We can write English and alphanumeric characters and special characters, and we can write the program. You don't have to write any assembly level commands, or you don't have to write any binary code. Okay, in machine level programming, we have to write the binaries, ones and zeros. In assembly level, you have to pass some commands. Through commands only you can write the program, and that is very limited. You can do only certain things, only limited things. In high level programming, you can do so many things and very easily. They are user friendly. Next, platform independent. Some some programming languages will best work in only such specific type of operating systems. Some programming languages supports only Microsoft related operating systems, Windows related operating systems. They give best in the Windows operating systems only. If you're trying in another operating systems, they may give you problems, or you may have to add some more extra frameworks or extra SDKs you have to install. Python has no dependency on the platform. You can write a Python program the same way how you are writing in Windows, the same way you can write in Mac or Linux or any other operating system. It's platform independent, it's not dependent. And we have a component called Python Virtual Machine, PVM. It will take the responsibility to convert your statements into machine understandable format. Anyhow, at the end, your computer can understand only binary language, only machine level language. Ones and zeros only can be understood by the computer. So who will convert? Actually, we are writing the program in Python. Okay, but system understands only ones and zeros. PVM, Python Virtual Machine, is one component. When you install Python, it will automatically come. That guy will take the responsibility to read and understand our Python program, and it will convert into system understandable code, that is ones and zeros. Okay, I think this point is clear to everyone. Platform independent. Next one is portable. Okay, this is important. Once you have developed one Python program, you can port it to another operating system or another platform. This is not possible with another programming languages. Let me tell you one example. If you consider ABC program, okay, ABC is my program that is developed in compiler based program. Assume that this is a compiler based program. So you have written the program, you have developed the software. Then the first step what we do, the first step we do is compilation or build. Compile. We compile the program. When we are compiling the program, if there are any syntactical errors, the compilation will not complete. So it will show all the list of errors. Developer has to fix all the issues. Once all the issues are fixed, what happens? It will generate one object file. Object file, or this object file or binary file, we can say binary file, or machine understandable code will be there in this file. Machine understandable, what does it mean by machine understandable? Machine means it depends upon your operating system. Say I have written one program, the ABC dot program in Windows operating system, for example. Okay, Windows operating system, I have written one program in Windows operating system. I compile this program, and the compiler will convert this ABC dot program into a binary file which can be understood by Windows operating system only. Okay, this object file you can copy to another Windows operating system and you can run the file. Assume that it is like a exe file for you. Okay, you got one exe file. You just copy this file. If there are any dependencies, you have to copy that dependencies also. Okay, the same program I have written, for example, in another operating system, Linux, for example. Okay, and I have written the program in Linux and I compile the application, so it will generate an object file which can be understood by the Linux operating system only. If I copy this Linux exe file into Windows operating system, it will not work. It will not execute. If I copy this Windows operating system understandable exe file into Linux operating system, it will not work in Linux operating system. Okay, that is the thing with the compiler based programming languages. But coming to Python, it is portable. You know, I think what does it mean by portable? Without changing your mobile number, you can change the network. That is portability, right? In the same way, without changing any single line of your code, you can copy your object file, you can copy your program, Python program, into another operating system also. Okay, if I have written abc.program in Windows operating system using Python, I can copy this application into Linux and I can run it. Okay, how it is executing? There is no concept of compilation and generating the object file here. Whenever a specific line is getting executed, that line at that moment on the fly, that line will be interpreted into machine understandable code. Okay, so whenever you are executing a program, that specific line, that statement will be interpreted at that moment by understanding, okay, I'm on Linux machine, so I have to convert this into Linux understandable machine code. Okay, those things will be taken care by PVM, Python virtual machine. So point to remember is Python is a portable programming language. You can write your program, you can develop your application in one operating system and one platform. You can copy, you can move that application to another platform without any hesitation, without any problem. It will work. Next point, dynamically typed. This is very important feature in Python. What is dynamically typed? First of all, what does it mean by type? Okay, we need to understand what is a type. If anyone does not have any programming background, if you do not understand these things, just please wait for a day. When we are writing programs tomorrow, you can understand easily. Okay, for now, just follow the flow. Okay, what is a type actually? We have to understand what is type. When you are writing program, you will be dealing with some data. You will be dealing with some data. For example, if you are writing one program to find sum of two numbers, okay, your program will calculate the total of two numbers. What it will take as input? It will take input as two numbers. I have to give two numbers, 10 and 20, for example. The result it will give, 30. Okay, this is one program, for example. I have to find one more program. I have to write one more program like okay, to find full name. Okay, if I give the input as Vamsi and Kamal as my first name and last name, it will give the output as full name equals to Vamsi Kamal. Okay, I'm taking two programs as example, two simple programs. Okay, if you see the first program, sum of two numbers, I have given 10 and 20. Okay, here 10 and 20 are data. Of course, 30 is also data. When you are writing programs, we have to deal with the data. In the second program, Vamsi and Kamal, these are data. These are nothing but the data. Okay, type comes with the data only. So what type of data, what kind of data you are providing to your program as input? Okay, that is known as type. What is type actually? If you see sum of numbers program, we are giving numbers here. Okay, these are numbers. So Because they are numbers, it calculated the mathematical total and it has given 30 instead of giving 1020. Okay, if this is a text kind of data, it will give output as 10 and 20, not 30. Okay, so your logics work based on the type of data you are giving to your program. Based on the type of data you are giving to your program, the logics will be applied. Okay, next, here I'm giving Vamsi and Kamal. These two are text data, so it is concatenating, it is appending. Okay, I'm not talking about logic. What is the logic I have written in the background? So what I'm trying to tell you here is, what is data? Any input you are giving or any hard-coded value you are using in your program, that is nothing but data. What is type? I'm trying to tell you here. Type means whether it is a number, whether it is a text, whether it is a boolean, character, like that. We have some set of data types available. In every programming language, we have some set of data types. We will be discussing in detail all the data types available in Python. Okay, we talked about data, we talked about type. In other programs, if you want to write a simple logic, for example, like this, sum of two numbers, how you have to write is, you have to declare the variables like this: int a comma b, for example, a equals to 10, b equals to 20. So this statement tells that a and b are two variables, two containers which will hold some data. Okay, and the int means the type of data, what type of data you are going to store. So it is a number data. In programming language, if you want to store numbers, you have to use integer. There are some other types also, we will discuss later. Okay, so int a comma b, that means you have to provide numbers here. Finally, you will write some logic here. That logic will calculate a total of the sum of two numbers. Say for example here, if I give a text instead of number, our logic will fail. The logic will not work because we have declared integer data type and we are providing text data. This will fail. Sometimes we assign data by calling some methods, okay, or by calling some services. Okay, if you don't understand this line, assume that we are assigning the value from some external methods or external services. From external program, we are assigning some data. In other programming languages, we must sure about what type of data we are getting from that method, what type of data we are getting from that service. Based on that, we have to declare the variable. Okay, so declaring variables and its data type prior to using them is known as a static typed. We call it as a static type. That means before using a variable, you have to declare what type of data you are going to use in that variable. Okay, next, coming to Python. Python is not a static typed programming language. It is dynamic typed programming language. Dynamic typed programming language. What does it mean? It means there is no concept of declaring variables with the data types. You don't have to declare any variables. You can directly assign the data here. Of course, here also I can directly assign the data. Based on the data you are assigning to a variable, automatically Python will understand and in the background it will assign the data type. Of course, logic you have to take care. So it should work for all types of data. Okay, logic you have to take care. Okay, so the point here is you don't have to declare variables and its data type prior to using them. Dynamically, when you are assigning a value to a variable, automatically Python will understand the data and it will declare the variable's data type in the background. Okay, that is the biggest advantage available in Python. Most of the times when you are writing some quick logics, you don't have to worry about the data types. You simply assign the values and write your logic. Go ahead. Okay, that way we can write in Python, that is known as dynamically typed. We don't have to declare data type of variables. Type will be automatically assigned based on the values we are providing to the variable. Okay, that is dynamic typed programming. Next, Python is both procedural oriented and object oriented. Okay, if anyone knows C language is a procedural oriented programming language. I will show you example once we install the Python and once we write the first program. I'll show you a difference between procedural program and OOPS program. Okay, in C language, we don't have concept of writing classes and declaring the objects like that. We directly write the functions or procedures and we can call them and we can use them. You can write Python same like your C language. You can directly write some procedures, you can call them and you can use it. Or you can write classes and you can declare the classes, define the classes, and you can create the objects for them and you can use it. You can achieve all the benefits of object oriented programming like security, reusability, polymorphism, inheritance, abstraction, encapsulation. There are certain a number of advantages available in OOPS concepts. All those advantages you can have in your Python program. Okay, for some reason you don't require to create a class, you don't require the OOPS concepts. Okay, you are writing a simple logic, you don't have to worry, you can write the simple logic like how you write in your C program, you can write and go with it. In other programming languages like C sharp or Java, without a class you cannot write anything. They are completely object oriented programming languages. Okay, you must write a class and inside the class only you can start writing your logic, your methods and everything. Okay, so in Python we are having both of procedural oriented programming and object oriented programming related benefits. I'll show you example. We haven't yet installed the IDE, so once we are writing the we started writing the programs, I'll tell you how to write the procedures and all. I'll show you how to write classes and all. Everything will be seeing in detail with examples. Next feature, interpreted. We discussed more about interpreted programming languages. So we don't have to explicitly compile the program, so internally PVM will convert when a specific statement is getting executed, it will be interpreted. Next point, extensible. We can use other language program in Python if required. Assume that you are writing one big project. You started developing one big project in Python. Okay, in your organization, you want to interact with some HR department or payroll department, some XYZ department. Okay, you need some functionality. You need to write. You need to have some database interaction or some XYZ logic you want in your application, and that logic is already available in another programming language. Assume that another team from your organization have developed one component using Java. So the same requirement what you are looking for is already developed in another programming language. Okay, that you can use in your Python. So that means if there is any ready-made code available in Java or C Sharp or C language, you can just copy that and you can use in your Python project also. So you can use another language program in Python if required. If really that need is there, Python supports with minor configurations, so you can use it. Okay, extensible. Embedded. So Python is embedded. Embedded means, for example, if you are seeing one YouTube video, while sharing, you will see one option called embed. If you select that, it will give you some source code. You can paste that source code into any HTML page or any website. So there your YouTube will be played. Okay, the same way you have a set of statements in Python. You want to reuse those set of statements in another programming language, in another project. You can take the copy of that set of statements and you can use these Python statements in your another programming languages also. The need is the same. We always try to avoid rework. We always try to reuse. Okay, if one component is already available, we max try to use it only until unless there is a big reason we have to use the existing component, whether it is a Java, whether it is a .NET. If some component is available in other programming language, you can use it here. Okay, if you have a good component developed in Python, you can use this component in your Java also, in your .NET also. You can copy this code and you can use it. Okay, in if your background is .NET, for example, in Visual Studio you can add Python tools. So using that, you can create a project with Python and you can mix both C# code, C# .NET code, and Python code. Okay, it is flexible. Next, libraries. This is the biggest asset available in Python. There are n number of rich set of inbuilt libraries available in Python. Okay, if you want to develop a data science related program, for example, you just include one library. You just import one library to your program, and you just call that methods. That's it. Like that, for different types of applications you want to develop, there are n number of rich set of libraries available in the market. We can use it, and all are free, only open source only. You don't have to purchase anything. And in Python we have a good community. So always community people will be contributing some new versions. Next, I'm talking about only features. Are there any limitations? Yes, yes, there are a couple of limitations. One is Python is not highly recommended for mobile applications. When you are developing mobile applications, generally we go for Android or iOS, right? So we can develop mobile applications using Java and .NET also, native applications also. But using Python, people are not suggesting to use Python for mobile applications unless you have a very strong reason. Okay, mostly they will avoid using Python. That is one limitation we have with the Python. The another one is performance comparing to compiled programming languages. Slightly, it is not up to the mark. The reason is it is on the fly interpreting the statements. It's not already converted into the machine code. On the fly, whenever a specific statement is getting executed, at that moment it is converting into the machine code and it is executing. So the slight performance deviation will be there. Okay, these are a couple of limitations in Python. We have some flavors of Python also. Okay, like C Python. Of course, C Python and Python are same. Okay, Jython or JPython. That means Java plus Python. You can use Python in your Java applications also. So that is known as Jython. C# plus Python, Iron Python, Ruby Python. Like that, you have different flavors of Python. You can use your IDE, you can use your other programming languages skills, and you can write your Python code there also in those IDEs and all. Okay. So I'm just doing a quick recap. So different features we have covered. It's simple and easy to learn, free and open source, high level programming language, platform independent, portable. You can move from one platform to another platform, dynamically typed programming language. You do not have to declare any variables with the data types prior to using them. And both it supports both procedural and object oriented programming. It is interpreted, extensible, embedded, and we have huge set of libraries available. So these are the features of Python. So till till that, if anyone is having any questions, any doubts, uh, please ping in the chat window. I can clarify your questions. If no questions, we'll go to installation part. Any questions so far? Is it clear? Sonal Gupta, yes, it is free and open source. It's crystal clear, Rajshekhar. Thank you. 3.8.3 latest version. Oh, thank you. About interpreted. What is the question about interpreted? Vamsi Krishna. It's clear. Yes, the first version started in 1991, Chiru. Yes, you're right. Interpreted. What is the question about interpreted, Vamsi Krishna? You can unmute and you can ask. Oh, Vamsi Krishna, you want me to repeat or you have any specific query about that? So I don't take much time, guys. Don't feel bored. Interpreted and compiler. Vamsi Krishna is having a question. So compiler-based programs means when you write a program, so whole program you have to compile first as the first step. So when you compile the program, it will be converted into machine understandable code. That is byte code or binary code. That file will be executed. So that we can consider as the output file. If there are any exceptions, any errors in your program, the compilation will fail. You cannot compile the program. So that is about compilation. Interpretation means if you have 100 lines of code, um, you don't have a concept of compilation. So when you're executing program line by line, every line will be executed. If you have any issue at line number 60, for example, the line number 60 will fail. Up to line number 59, all the lines will be executed. Okay, you're asking what are the reasons for versions? It depends on updates, brother. It's not like every 6 months we have to provide a latest version. It's not like Angular people. It's based on the features we are adding. That is point number one. And even though you're seeing major versions 4, there are so many minor versions like 3.1.1, 1.2, 1.3 like that. There are minor versions also. Whenever they added only small features, minimal features, they don't change the major version like 1, 2, 3. They are major versions. 1.1.1, 1.1.2, those are minor versions. Whenever they are adding small features, they will make a change in the minor version only, not the major version. Major versions you will be seeing only 4. Okay, let's jump on to next part and interesting and important part most of the people are looking for. So the official website for Python is python.org. Okay, we will find. Hope everyone is clear about the features. I'm jumping into installation process. If anyone is having any questions, you can ask me, or after the session, I'll wait for 15-20 minutes. You can ask me. If anything is not clear, we can discuss.
Free and
Okay,
open
I'm
source.
jumping
Kamal,
to
I
the
had
next.
asked you about the open and free source.
Yeah, what is the question about open and free source?
What do you mean by the open and free source? Free source means you don't need to pay money. Okay, that is the free. But what is the mean by the open source?
Correct. Open source means to develop Python also they have to write some code, right, in the background using C language or something. They have to write some code, right? That code is also available for you in the internet. You can search for that. Of course, we don't go to that level, but if you are genius in programming and if you want to understand how the Python is developed, what is the architecture and all, and you want to add some more features to that, you can. You're open. The source code of the Python is open. That open source
Okay.
means the
So
source code is open for everyone.
okay. So if I want to contribute in the inbuilt libraries or in the function of the Python, then I can contribute.
Yes, you can contribute.
Okay, that is the open source.
Yes, you can. Yeah. Clear? Clear, Sonal?
Yes, clear.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next is I'm saying about python.org. This is the official website of the Python. So you can see what is the latest version. Somebody said 3.8.3, so this is 8.2 only. Okay, fine, no problem. So here you can find all the documentation, guidance, community things, everything you can have. You can have different versions of software. You can download from here.
Hello. Remaining people, could you please go on mute because
I'm muting all, no problem. People may forget, so I just made mute all. Okay, so this is the official website. Here we can have the things officially. The first thing I want you to do is please download this file. Just go to, just mouse over on the downloads and click here Python 8.3 3.8.2, sorry. So click here. This will download one file for you. Okay, like this. Everyone, please install Python today.
I already installed it.
Then good, then fine. If anyone has not installed, please install it. Okay.
Kamal,
Yeah,
the path that you have shown in order to download the Python, that I think that download the 32-bit. If I want to download the 64-bit, then what I need to do?
yeah, that is also available here. So go to view full list of downloads. Are you sure it is a 32-bit?
Yes, yes. It is 32-bit. I know.
No, it's a 64-bit, man. You can see the file name here. AMD64.exe. No issues, it will work. Just download. Okay, and just open the file you have downloaded. So I have already this installed in my machine, so it is saying modify. Just in your case, it will show installation, but while you are installing, one step is important. By today, make sure everyone installed Python, so we can practice tomorrow onwards. Okay, so you may see something like this. It's older version when I have documented. So install now, and it will show you some path here. So in this screen, please select the last option. Add Python 3.8, in your case, 3.8 to path. Select this and say next, and finish. Okay, I'll tell what happens if you do not add this path. I'll explain with example. In my system, the path is already added, I think, but okay, I'll talk about this part in a while. For now, make sure you check this one and install. Next, install. Guys, everyone, please install Python. And once you install, we can start our practice.